The female CEO only fired her husband, who slacked off at the company every day. But the next second, major partners unexpectedly all wanted to terminate their contracts with her. Not only that, the partners were even preparing to hire her husband with high salaries at their own companies. The CEO hurried to get her husband back, but the employees said her husband had already left and was nowhere to be found. CEO Sinya didn't understand what was so special about Louis, not knowing that Louis was a hidden expert in network technology and even a nationally appointed engineer. For years, Louis had turned down many high-paying offers just to build a better future together with his wife Sinya. However, something unexpected happened that day. Right after Louis finished a difficult task, Sinya suddenly walked over with her lover Alan. She told Alan to take Louis's position. Louis was stunned. The reason Sinya valued Alan so much was because Alan claimed he had secured 2 major investments for the company. Sinya believed him, but she didn't know those 2 companies only invested because of Louis's presence. That was the only reason they invested in the company. Besides promoting Alan, Sinya also attributed all the credit for the company's cybersecurity to Alan. She even threatened Louis that at the press conference he must acknowledge Alan's contributions, or she would divorce him. Louis was furious and heartbroken. The next day, he brought the divorce papers to Sinya, but because of Alan's influence, she signed the divorce papers without even looking at them. Louis left in disappointment. The next day, the press conference proceeded as usual. Many investors demanded Louis to come on stage, but Louis never showed up. Sinya thought Louis was still angry. She angrily urged Louis to come quickly, but Louis refused to respond to her. At that moment, her subordinate told Sinya that Louis had already resigned. The investors in the audience couldn't see Louis and kept protesting, announcing that if they couldn't meet Louis, they would withdraw their investments. At that moment, Alan quickly came up with an idea and lied that Louis was sick and had entrusted him to do the demonstration. Only then were the investors temporarily calmed. Meanwhile, Louis was on his way to the National Bureau. However, he saw in the live stream that Alan caused a massive system failure during the demonstration. It was a situation that couldn't be fixed. The venue had already descended into chaos. Louis urgently told the driver to change direction and head to the press conference, as he couldn't bear to see his team's hard work ruined. But when Louis arrived at the venue and tried to take over the controls, he was stopped by Alan and Sinya. Sinya would rather destroy the system than trust Louis. She even ordered people to grab Louis. Just then, Bella from the National Bureau arrived at the scene. She held great authority and was Louis's classmate and admirer. Bella had originally been waiting at the bureau to reunite with Louis, but upon hearing that he was in trouble, she rushed over to assist. Sinya had no choice but to agree to let Louis operate. Alan still tried to stop him because he was afraid that Louis's skills would be exposed to everyone, and then he wouldn't be able to get rid of Louis. But at that moment, Alan became the one who got grabbed. The system had only 30 seconds left before it would be destroyed. Louis typed rapidly on the keyboard. Everyone at the scene stared at him nervously. At the very last second, before the system was about to